Welcome back, and thank you for joining for one of Mike and Billy's whiskey reviews. Today I'm going to stay with another bourbon, and I'm going to go with the Rittenhouse Straight Rye Whiskey, Pennsylvania style. Talk more about that later. 100 proof, 50% ABV. Don't have much of an experience with this one. Me and my good buddy Keith were drinking together, and the ones that I thought were interesting, he let me keep the rest of. I've been kind of working my way through this Rittenhouse rye. And mainly, I've been a big fan of rye bourbons lately. Really haven't had a bad one. And this one, had a sip before we started. This one is one that I found kind of interesting and wanted to bring to you guys. So Keith told me to go for it. So I've been drinking on this bad boy. It's on one of these bottle and bond ryes. Again, as I mentioned before, it's 100 proof or 50% ABV. And it says it's Pennsylvania style rye. And the heritage commemorates Philadelphia's famous Rittenhouse Square. So anyway, I can tell you more about that stuff, but I'll put it in the description below. And you can put a little link and I'll tell you a little bit more about the whiskey, but this is gonna be a quick one here, folks. This is a nice little bourbon, but it's pretty straightforward and I just wanna get right to it. So like with most bourbons, natural color. This is a little bit darker than say the E.H. Taylor that I recently did. Almost a dark caramel or light mahogany color. We get a little swirl around the glass. And I want to get to the nose, which I was incredibly impressed with. So on the nose. A lot going on here. Citrus, instantly. But citrus mixed. I'm getting orange. I'm getting a little bit of lemon. But what's interesting is the spices that are in that orange and lemon. Definitely cinnamon. Definitely clove. But there's a fruity component to it right at the end. Orchard fruits. And just at the end, hard butterscotch candy. I'm talking butterscotch candy in the clear wrapper that your grandfather had in his pocket that he gave to all the kids like they were special. Those candies. Hard candy, hard butterscotch candy that old people eat. That's what's in here. But all of them mixed together really nice. Like the butterscotch gives it a candied texture to really all of the flavors. So you're getting candied fruits, candied oranges, candied orange, candied lemon. Maybe it's a lime, not a lemon. Yeah, probably a lime, not a lemon. Lime, not a lemon. Something like that. A little bit of that cinnamon spice. All with that butterscotch overcoat. Almost like a more candied version of Glenfarclas. Like my first Glenfarclas was a Glenfarclas 17, and there was a lot of butterscotch in that one. Similar, but more sweet butterscotch in this one. Which is a nice treat. It really is. And just right at the end, a little bit of chocolate. A little bit of bitter chocolate. Maybe this isn't so straightforward as I assumed. Oh yeah, it's good. Let's take a sip. All right, definitely get that citrus. Orange, spice. Orange, spice. Definitely cinnamon. And then that butterscotch comes in. Really, really underrated whiskey. I've never even heard of this before until Keith brought it by. I'm telling you, Rittenhouse, straight rye whiskey, Pennsylvania style. Don't know what that means. A very interesting whiskey in general, especially a rye bourbon. And again, I have been so impressed with rye bourbons lately. They have really impressed me as far as their depth and complexity compared to your standard bourbons. They're not as sweet as a standard bourbon, but they seem to have more flavors and more texture, and the kind of a few more things are going on with it. So I tell you what, with water, you get more of that chocolate. You get more of that spice, and a little bit of oakiness is coming up now with some water. Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. Caramel, orange, lemon, and butterscotch. Man, what a combo. Really is. Incredible whiskey. First sip time. Or excuse me, second sip, first sip with water. As with most bourbons, it takes a little edge off of the flavor profile once you add some water into it. So again, this is another one where I would say drink it neat at first. You want to add water, take it slow. You can drown this one out pretty quickly. As far as whiskey score, I'm an 88 out of 100 on this particular one. It's a really good one. I'm partial to rye though, be forewarned. But this Rittenhouse straight rye, really good whiskey, 100 proof, 50% ABV. If you want to dial it down with a little bit of water as you go, you can because of the higher proof. And just a really impressive bottle if you can get your hand on it. It's not one I see here very often. I don't exactly know where Keith got it. I'm gonna have to ask him and put it in the description below. But if you can't get your hands on it, it's a good one. Again, 88 out of 100. I want to thank you again for joining me for another one of Mike and Billy's Whiskey Reviews. And until next time, happy drinking.